Hey guys, Joe here and welcome back for another episode. Today we're at Town Hall 11 and we're going to be discussing the Queen Charge Mass Miner attack, not to be confused with the Mass Bowler attack that doesn't really require any planning or technique whatsoever. This attack strategy actually does require some technique, planning, and attention to detail when utilizing the Queen Charge technique. A couple of disclaimers for you. I would highly recommend that you have near max heroes before attempting this attack strategy. I would also do a lot of friendly challenge prior to attempting the Queen Charge within a war. And then also your miners need to be at least a level 3 or level 4 prior to attempting this attack strategy within your own wars. Now, with that being said, this attack strategy is actually base specific, mainly for those bases that have semi-exposed Eagle artilleries, as well as the ring bases and the resource ring bases. These attack strategy requires a lot of patience, like I said before. And actually, I have been practicing this attack strategy for about a week prior to making this video. And I had a completely different layout on how I was going to present it in the first place, where I basically break it down and explain it on what I've learned from it. However, some recent events or a recent war lately actually changed my outlook on how I was going to present this video, and I'm actually going to use an attack replay that I would normally not show within my channel or any content for that matter. So basically we faced this wonderful clan recently, and on battle day they brought in a couple of dead accounts down at the bottom of their list, and then some scouting. My base actually took a 16% scout, and then about 2 hours later I was instantly 3-starred. No big deal, my base is not really maxed out anyways, so I'm not going to really get all upset about it. However, we're going to go ahead and label this type of perfect attacking as funny business. And really what I want to do for you today is actually use one of these replays to teach off of and show you that some of these techniques that you're going to see are highly unlogical, and we would probably not do some of these spell placements that's seen in the attack, or at least as perfectly as they are done, or even the wall breakers for that matter. But what I'm going to show you is that what I said in the beginning of the video, that the Eagle artillery being exposed, if you can get in there and get it, definitely go in there and take it. And so as this one wraps up, Nelly does a wonderful job on the patience of using the miners to get to the core of this dead zone ring base. And actually, funny thing about it is that Inferno Tower is left over is actually the Inferno Tower that he wanted to take out in the beginning of the attack with his Archer Queen. But we're going to go ahead and move right along into this next replay. And this is actually our attacker that does a little bit of funny business, and this is probably the most intense attack I've ever seen, or structured, if you will. He actually uses what looks like a simple queen walk, but that rage placement is quite interesting to me, considering the fact that his queen actually does go right into it, and it is actually serves as a great place for that wall breaker, single wall breaker, to take out that level 10 wall. If you pay attention to where his queen is actually going, he's actually headed towards that compartment that houses the Eagle artillery. And my base design is not the best, but it's actually done quite well against the mass bowler attacks, and it's actually held up against one of these minor attacks before. However, the previous attackers weren't assisted, if you will. So as you see there, he uses a rage to crack open those walls, get those wall breakers raged up, and he gets his queen in there quite easily, actually. Takes out my Eagle artillery, brings one poison for that clan castle, and then drops a rage again on his queen. This is the rage, the Queen Charge technique, which means to break her into the base with specifics to take out certain structures, and using rage spells to keep her alive. You're not technically queen walking because you're not keeping her outside of the base. However, he does take out 33% of my base with just the queen and a couple of healers, and drops his Barbarian King in the north, and drops all of his miners to sweep the rest of the base. And it brings a haste spell to assist his miners in that one compartment where the town hall was and the Inferno Tower, and just uses the remainder of his heal spells to keep the miners going throughout the remainder of the base. They don't really run into too many problems against the enemy Archer Queen and Barbarian King, meaning mine at least. They move right through them, and the Grand Warden still has his Eternal Tome ability in order to take on that last Inferno Tower. The moral of the story here is that patience within the Queen Charge and taking out the specifics within the Eagle Artillery and the Clan Castle is really truly the key to the success of this attack. The miners have an extremely hard time against any Clan Castle, no matter what the composition is. Obviously, if you have max balloons overhead dropping bombs on them, they're in trouble. And then also, if they get caught up on top of the ground longer than a few seconds, they're also going to get in trouble there. The skeleton traps pose a little bit of a threat to the miners as they get caught up defeating those. So there's really no way to combat that other than to try to take out as much as you possibly can with the Queen Charge. Now, this is actually a replay of myself getting in there and practicing this attack strategy, and I'm actually pretty new to it. So I take on a Town Hall 10.5, which means he has no Eagle Artillery, and I actually bring my Grand Warden with the Queen in order to provide a third method of keeping her alive with his Eternal Tome ability. So I'm not spamming my wall breakers. I use a rage spell to get her health back up as she starts to move into the base. A little late on my rage spell. I could have placed it probably ahead of her a little bit. And then I drop that giant in there to pose as a buffer when the Inferno Tower starts targeting out that direction. Start to draw that Clan Castle, drop the poison spells, and then also rage up my Queen again in order to take out that Clan Castle fairly quick. And it's a pretty solid Clan Castle. He has the Valkyrie Baby Dragon mix there. Then I start to drop my Barbarian King and my Bowlers to start working on the funnel on the opposite side. Draw your attention back to the Archer Queen. I use the Eternal Tome ability since she's being targeted by the Inferno Tower. The healers are actually continuing to heal as she's under invincibility by that tome. Get the miners down using a 3-finger drop method and get them into the base, enraging them to take out that Inferno Tower to keep my Queen alive. And then I start placing my heal spells as they start to move into a mass bulk of high damage per second dealing defenses in the Expos and the Inferno Towers. So, and then on the south side of the base, the Bowlers are still working, taking out structures to keep everything moving right along. The miners are working in the center on that Town Hall, followed by the Archer Queen, and now a couple of those healers have actually moved on to the miners themselves. So the miners also are still receiving healing effects from the healers as they move throughout the base. Now that I've actually run out of heal spells, little off on the timing on my spell placements since I'm pretty new to this attack strategy. However, against a Town Hall 10, or at least a Town Hall 11 on Town Hall 10, it's actually quite simple to get this done. As long as you get rid of that Clan Castle, the miners themselves don't really have a lot of problems getting throughout the remainder of the base, especially with the assistance of the Bowlers on the outside of the base. Now, if you can actually get the Bowlers inside the base to assist with working on a core, that also works as well. So I also went out and resourced a little bit and got us a resource ring base to hit as well. Called up my buddy Striker, and he's in a smaller clan and still rolling with a couple of these resource ring bases. Tested out on multiple bases. The composition that I actually use is 1 giant, 7 wall breakers, 4 healers, 33 miners, Bowlers in the Clan Castle, 2 heal spells, 3 rage spells, and 2 poisons. And then also max level heroes minus my Grand Warden, which is only at level 16. So I actually take on this base and normal fashion, start out with a Queen Walk, but I'm actually trying to get in there and get that Clan Castle out, and I also would like to get in there and grab that Eagle Artillery in the core. So there's a lot of components that are actually in the way on the process to getting in there and getting this. Plus there's another hero in the center there with the Barbarian King. use the wall breakers to split open and provide a path for my Archer Queen and Grand Warden to move right along. Not a lot of resistance on the outer perimeters of this base layout at all. Just dropped the Giant just to pose as a deterrent for a few seconds, considering I didn't really need to use him as a meat shield. But here's where my timing was really off, and this is where you can make a huge mistake. I take out the clan castle, but I fail to get down there and get that Eagle artillery. So I dropped the funneling troops, which I didn't really give them a lot of time to funnel anyways, and then I dropped all my miners immediately. So this is where this is actually a little bit of planning and timing in this strategy. You cannot just drop the miners and expect them to move throughout the base so easily. This is why I'm showing you this replay, to give you an example of failure at its best. I too do fail, and this is why we practice and why we use the friendly challenge technique. One of those Inferno towers is still standing. For some reason, the miners decided to completely bypass them, and there was actually a little bit of pride on the line here, so I was trying to save this attack, considering I had 3-starred 2 of his other bases prior to this attack itself. So it looks like all the miners are actually gone at this point, and now I'm still kind of reliant on the Archer Queen. So the thing to take note of within this attack itself is the fact that I did not plan properly on getting in there and getting that Eagle artillery down. And even though I did take out the clan castle, the Eagle artillery really put a pounding on the miners while they were above ground fighting off a couple of skeleton traps. So let's go ahead and move into another replay within the same lineup, same base, but I take a different approach to this base. I actually come in through the south because I really want to get rid of that Eagle artillery. So I drop my Archer Queen and the healers, and then the Grand Warden. And the Grand Warden, like I said before, actually poses as a third way to keep the Queen alive. Get my wall breakers in to split open that compartment and get my Queen inside the base. And remember, we're not actually walking on the outside of the base, we're actually charging in. We're going to use these rage spells to actually keep her alive and keep her going. So you're going to be very focused on her health throughout this process, and anytime you don't feel comfortable, you're going to get that rage spell down and hopefully keep her moving throughout the base and keep her health up. You're not going to use the Grand Warden ability until you absolutely have to. Like in this case right here, I actually have an Inferno Tower striking her, so I drop a rage spell to rage the healers and then use the Eternal Tome ability to get her health right back up as she continues to work. I still have her Royal Cloak ability to use, which I end up using here to take out the Inferno Tower, and then I'm still holding on to those miners as those bowlers work in the northwest, or correction, northeast. And then once the Queen is locked on and working on those clan castle troops, I send the miners directly to the core of the base, drop a rage strike and take out that Eagle artillery immediately, and then also working on taking out that last Inferno Tower, as well as the other heavy damage per second dealing units in the expos. So you have a couple of bowlers that are actually inside the base that were helping out, but they didn't have healer support, so they went down fairly quick. And then I use that last heal spell, and once the core of these bases go down, most of us experienced attackers understand that once the core of the resource ring base falls, this raid is over. It's a 3-star attack unless you're limited on time. However, at this point, I have a couple of, well, I actually have a very large group of miners left over, and they're taking out the remaining structures in the north, as that Archer Queen has all of her healers still, and she's taking out structures over in the west. So just a couple of different ideas there for you, and also multiple different base layouts to choose from within this video that can also assist you on how the attacker addressed them, from the ring base to the anti 3-star to also this resource ring base as well. The couple key components to keep in mind, and also don't forget to funnel. Still very important within this strategy as well. Drop some comments below and let me know what you think, and thanks for watching, y'all.